Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hi, Dave Howard from Marin County. Congratulations to Miles. He is definitely a great superstar. A couple questions here. First is, what happens if the real truth is that Kevin Stefanski wants out and him, quote unquote, being fired is just a ruse? Second question is, Jim Schwartz is, the best coach that we have. How do we keep Jim Schwartz? Should we make him the head coach? I am worried that if we get a new head coach, Jim Schwartz may leave, and that will really impact the defense. Thanks a lot. Bye.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Jeff, I think Kevin Stefanski was getting tired of it all. I don't know that he wanted out. I don't think he was completely heartbroken. I'm of the mindset I have said all along, if you like this defense, the only way to really keep it intact is to make Jim Schwartz your head coach. Because I think if you bring in another guy, you're not going to be the same way. You're not going to be able to dictate, Shadur's got to be the quarterback. You can't dictate. Jim Schwartz has to be your defensive coordinator.
I definitely agree. And look, I'm one where I think, that maybe Kevin Stefanski, knowing, and look, this is what you have agents for, and, knowing that maybe there was possibly some real interest out there within the league, for other opportunities. What are you supposed to do? I mean, as the coach, all right, I get it. We traded for Deshaun all the way back when, and it didn't work. So here we are now in 2026 talking about a 2022 problem, and yet nobody has found a way to bring in a legitimate quarterback since. The Joe Flacco 2023 run was fantastic. Legitimate, sustainable? No. So here he is, an offensive-minded coach. Everybody points the finger at him for the offensive deficiencies. Well, it's the most important position in all of professional sports. There are 14 playoff teams, 12 of them. Their quarterbacks were drafted in round 1. Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts was drafted in round 2. And then, of course, the Cinderella story of it all, Brock Purdy, round 7 for San Francisco. But putting a high investment into a quarterback matters. And it should be a quickest path to get that guy ready to contribute, ready to play. Again, the Jim Schwartz thing, and it's tricky because you have to go to him openly and honestly, do you have interest in this job? Because, and this is even where it gets even worse, because Jim, and the Browns made it great for Jim. That's why they loved having him. Jim, you come here, the defense is yours. You got that whole little part of the building over there. Do what you got to do. And, obviously more often than not, Jim Schwartz and his defense delivered. But now Jim Schwartz is not going to be able to give the attention to the defense the way he had. Now he would have to go out and help with Andrew Berry build an offensive staff. So that certainly changes things. Maybe Jim doesn't want to do it. But the thing is, when you now look at some of the prospective hires, a Minter, a Chris Shula, most of these guys are coming with a defensive pedigree. So they're going to probably want to come here, be the head coach, make the defensive calls. What are you doing with Jim Schwartz then? It's a little trickier than, I think people think. And the Browns, if Jim Schwartz is possibly interested, and let's be honest, 2026 could be another lame duck season anyway. So, what if you get the guy and you really like him, but 2026 goes terribly wrong? Jim's older, you don't know how much longer he's here. If he wants the gig, I think the Browns probably have to give some serious consideration to that.